Hello my loves, welcome back to Lavendaire. Today I want to talk about the concept of connecting with our future selves. How do we use this image of our future self to bridge the gap between who we are and who we want to be? And how does this concept of the future self help us appreciate the present moment so much more? Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel if you like videos on personal growth and lifestyle design, everything related to creating your dream life. So I started reading this book lately called Become Your Future Self Now by Dr. Benjamin Hardy, and there's an exercise that I really liked that I wanted to share with you guys. Imagine yourself 20 years from now and you had the opportunity to go back in time and relive the present moment that you are living today. Like relive it in this current body, in this state, and you can make choices in your life with perspective of you are 20 years older. So I am 32 right now, so 20 years into the future, I would be 52. And if I had the opportunity, my 52-year-old self going back and living in this 32-year-old body, what would I do and how would I relive my life? Take a moment, close your eyes, and imagine how you would feel if you were 20 years older but living in this present body. What would you do? How would you approach life differently? So this exercise is meant to give you perspective that we are going to get older, and it gives you perspective to be grateful for all the things that you have in your life right now. And it also helps you have this mindset of living to the fullest with no regrets. When I think about what I would do or how I would feel if I were 20 years older back into this current body, like number one, there are so many things I would be grateful for. I would be grateful for like my family at the current age that everyone is at right now, the current stage of life that we're all in right now. Super grateful for Togi. I would hug Togi tighter because in 20 years he won't be here. And just appreciating the home I live in now because I know that will change, and appreciating my youthful body, right? My young energy that I have. I can still move fluidly. There's just so much that I have right now that I can enjoy. I would appreciate my friends even more because I know that changes as you get older. I also feel that the older you get, the less you care. You can be yourself, you can have fun. As I get older, I'm just releasing all of those things that held me back. And so if I could imagine what my mindset would be then and living in the current body at the current age that I am now, I think I would just have no regrets. I would just go for whatever I want to do. Don't be shy, just be bold, say what you want to say, do what you want to do, wear what you want to wear, enjoy just having fun with everything, right? Your self-expression, create what you want to create. There's literally nothing holding you back. I want to share this quote that also supports this exercise. This is a quote from Viktor Frankl. He said, "Live as if you were living already for the second time and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now." So he's just saying that we make a lot of mistakes in our lives. Sometimes we don't take the chances, we don't go for it because we're too afraid, we let fear hold us back, and later on down the line we might regret these choices. So live as if you had made the mistake and you grew older and then you had a second chance to relive this life that you have. Then you would relive it with much more gratitude and much more, more boldly and daring. Don't be afraid, just do the thing, confidently go for it. Be confident in yourself, have fun, make friends, travel, do the thing, go on adventures, just do everything because life should not be wasted. This is an exercise where you can time travel in your mind, but the reality is we're always getting older and we are always the youngest that we will ever be. So we should truly be grateful for the phase that we are in our life and truly be grateful for the capabilities we have. So if you did this exercise, I'd love if you could share down below in the comments, what would you do? How would you feel if you got to live your life a second time and you were at the current age that you are now? Let me know down below if it helps shift your perspective in any way. At this point, I'd like to thank today's sponsor for this video, BetterHelp. Have you felt like something is holding you back from happiness or achieving your goals? Whether you're dealing with mental health issues like depression or anxiety, or simply going through a tough time, therapy can give you the tools to approach your life in a different way. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy therapy more affordable and more accessible. They make it easier to find a therapist because it's 100% online. You just answer a few questions and BetterHelp will match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. Signing up is easy. Just visit the link in my description, betterhelp.com/Aileen. Using that link not only supports this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Also, if you find that you don't like your therapist, you can easily switch therapists, which I've done a few times myself. You want to find someone who gets you and can give you the tools to help you heal. I always take notes from my therapy sessions, and it's from rereading those notes that I've realized just how much I've grown. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Aileen. Thanks again to BetterHelp for supporting this channel. Next, let's talk about bridging the gap between your current self and your future self. So a lot of you who know about my Artist of Life workbook that I sell at my shop know about this current me versus future me exercise that I've done for over a decade. Essentially, I do it every single year, and it's a doodle where on one side of the notebook, I draw my current self, what she's feeling, what she's doing, how her life looks like at the moment. And then on the other side of the notebook, I draw my future self, where I just put all the notes of what does that life look like, how does she feel, what is she doing, who's around her. So doing this exercise allows you to visually see the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's okay to be real, like where you are could be really ugly, really messy, like I've been there, right? And then where you want to be could feel so out of reach. It could feel so like just imaginary, unrealistic, and that's okay. I honestly think it's good to set big, unrealistic dreams. The magic of this exercise, though, is that as I continue doing it year after year, the gap between my current self and my future self started getting smaller and smaller. Like I was bridging the gap, right? When I first did this exercise in, I think 2012, it was such a wild gap, and it was hard to even know how could I become this future self. She's so different from who I am now. It's so out of reach. But baby steps, little by little, somehow I took the steps to get closer and closer each year to that ideal future self. So let's talk about how to begin bridging that gap. So when you do this exercise and you have the visual laid out in front of you of your current self and your ideal future self, then you can start to look at where it is possible to practically bridge the gap. Because there are things that are going to be practical and things that are just a matter of like taking the steps to get there, right? If you have a goal of, I want to save this amount of money, then all you have to do is work backwards from that. Okay, how much do I need to save at a time every month or every year to have that much money saved? And if you have a project, like say I want to write a book, right? Then you just work backwards from there. Okay, when do I want to have this done by? And then you work backwards, you break down the goals like how you would do with any other goals. But some things are not exactly practical. They're more just subjective, where you look at that ideal future self and you're like, I have no idea how I'm gonna make that happen, right? It could be just something that you don't even know what the steps are. Don't worry about those for now. Let me tell you about something else. So another aspect to help you bridge the gap between your current self and your future self is becoming that identity of the ideal future self. This is part visualization, part manifesting and law of attraction. Once you know what your ideal future self looks like, once you know all the details, like get as specific as you possibly can, because once you have it all laid out in front of you, then you could just act the part. You could just pretend, people call it pretending, delulu, whatever you want to think. It's just becoming, stepping up into that identity, right? So I'll give you an example. Like, let's say my current self is like wearing sweatpants. She's not very confident. She just feels sluggish and lazy every day. She doesn't feel motivated, but her ideal future self is like confident, like dresses like really fashionable, and she's really motivated in life. Yes, there might be achievements that future self has made that you have no idea how you're gonna make happen, but that doesn't matter. All that matters is how that future self feels and how that future self shows up in the world. That future self shows up with confidence, right? She's not afraid. She goes after what she wants. So that part is really simple because all it really is a belief and a mindset shift. It's a perspective shift. So all you have to do is imagine that you are already that future self and that you already feel confident. And this is the delulu part, right? Where you might not really feel that on the inside, but you try your best. You dress the part, you act the part, and you just go put yourself out there and you do the thing. Even if you feel scared and insecure, it's that saying like, feel the fear, but do it anyway. The more you can step into that identity of the future self, the more you're going to become that future self because you're literally living it. If you're literally living it, then your brain is going to start to believe that this is the person that you are. Your brain starts to shift your concept of your identity. Our concept of our own identity is something that is so malleable. I think that is like a secret that most people don't realize that they could tap into. Like you might believe that you are this way now and that you'll be that way forever, but no, you can just change your mind on who you are and then you could just be someone else. It definitely helps to dress the part. You know, people who cosplay, or if you put on a costume, or if you wear like a ball gown, it just makes you want to like act elegant. When you look the part, you kind of feel the part. So imagine you are just the actor playing that part, but the more you play that part, the more your brain believes that's true, and the more your brain shifts into that new identity. And as you know, in manifesting, once you believe that you are already there, the universe will bring the right opportunities to you. Like your new life is going to look more and more like that ideal future self, the more that you can believe that that is who you are. There's another one of my favorite future self type of exercises that I've shared in a video of mine years ago, but it's a vision exercise. I believe it's called Vivid Vision. I'll link the video here and down below so you can watch that video and go deep into that exercise. But essentially, that exercise is just writing a journal entry as your future self. Like you lean into the future, right? And the first time I ever did this was probably around 2012, 2013. And I kept all those notes, like I transcribed it on my phone from my journal so that I can come back to it. So I went back to read it recently, and these were things that I wrote before I started Lavendaire, before I even knew what I was doing with my life, right? It's crazy how when I read what I wrote back then, so much of it aligns to my life now. And it's just fun to see your dreams come true, as cheesy as that sounds. Just an excerpt. My career is perfectly aligned with my purpose. As an artist, I empower people and make a positive contribution to the world. I am a media producer, artist, and personality. I write eloquently, make good music, beautiful and inspiring videos, basically create awesome world-changing content. I know branding and marketing. I have built a community around me and spend my time sharing my lessons and ideals with the world, influencing everyone around me. I spend half of my time being creative and the other half outside, meeting with and connecting with people. That super positive energy I get when things are happening, and I'm meeting inspirational people as well. I know it might not sound surprising because so much of this is what I do now with my life, but back then I was not doing this. I just knew that I wanted to do something along these lines, but like nothing was materialized. I just was a fresh grad out of college, trying a bunch of random jobs, and that was that. Anyway, before we wrap it up today, I want to let you know that we have a launch date for our 2024 Artist of Life workbook. So this is the workbook that I come out with every single year, and the Current Me, Future Me exercise is in here, as well as the Vivid Vision exercise. And the new version has an updated like goals section, so it will be slightly different from last year's version. But if you love doing exercises like this, if you love to set goals, connect with your future self, and become the person that you've always wanted to be, this is the tool to do it. All right, so this will launch on October 18th at my shop. I'll link everything down below. If you subscribe to our email newsletter, you get first access to shop this when it releases. I hope today's video was helpful and that it helps you connect better with your future self. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.